You found out at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. Not the million. You already had that. You found out about the friend, the one person at that company you actually trusted. The guy you grew up with, the guy who got you the job. You were sitting in your car in the office parking lot reading a text that wasn't meant for you. And in about 6 seconds, almost 5 years of friendship made complete sense for the first time. But you didn't confront him, didn't call him. What you did instead. Nobody saw it coming. Not Daniel, not Lucas, nobody. Chapter 1. The Cage. You're 28. You work at a mid-sized digital marketing agency, the company that manages ad campaigns, social media strategy, and brand positioning for corporate clients. Decent job, on papers, good salary actually, around $95,000 a year, health insurance, free coffee in the break room, the stuff that's supposed to make you feel like you've made it, but you haven't made it, and you know it, because of your boss. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel is the kind of manager who shows up to meetings 10 minutes late, opens with, "So where are we on this?" and then presents your work to leadership with his name on it. Every time. You built an entire campaign strategy for a client, stayed late 3 nights in a row, missed your friend's birthday, ate dinner at your desk. Monday morning, Daniel walks into the leadership meeting with the same deck, same language, word for word. Slides his name on the cover page, gets a round of applause. You're sitting in the back of the room watching this happen, and you can't say a word. Because Daniel signs off on your performance reviews, Daniel decides if you get a raise. Daniel can make one phone call and make sure you never get hired anywhere in the industry again. That's the thing about having no money. It's not just that you're poor, it's that everyone above you knows you can't leave, and they use it. You've got rent, car payment, student loans still hanging around from college. You're not drowning, but you're treading water, and treading water means swallowing whatever Daniel puts in front of you, every week, every time. But there's something Daniel doesn't know about you. Chapter 2. The Secret. You've been lying to everyone at that office, not with words, with lifestyle. Your coworkers go out for drinks on Friday. You say you're tired. They lease new cars. You drive the same 2016 Civic. They upgrade apartments every year. You've been in the same studio since you started the job. They think you're broke. They think you're struggling. You're saving about 40% of your paycheck. Every month, roughly $2,800 goes straight into index funds. No exceptions, no cheap months. Rent, groceries, gas, phone bill, you've got it stripped down to the minimum. Not comfortably. Some months, you're eating the same 3 meals on rotation just to keep the number going up. Everything left over gets invested. You've been doing this for 4.5 years, 4.5 years of saving. But that's not what got you to $1 million. This is, working at a marketing agency means you spend all day looking at data, trends, consumer behavior, what people are clicking on, what they're ignoring, where attention is moving. After a while, it rewires how you see everything, not just ads, but industries, markets, the whole picture. You start spending your evenings doing your own research, not because anyone told you to, just because you got curious. You're reading earnings calls, SEC filings, clinical trial databases, stuff that most people would never sit through. And you start noticing things. One company in particular, a small biotech firm, you find them through a Reddit thread actually. Someone mentions their phase 3 trial results, and the numbers look good, so you dig deeper. You read every public filing. You track their hiring patterns on LinkedIn. They're quietly adding manufacturing staff, which usually means they're expecting approval. You look at the competitive landscape, and their closest competitor just had a trial fail. The gap is wide open, and nobody on Wall Street is paying attention because the company is too small for analysts to cover. You put $40,000 into the stock over 6 months. Don't tell anyone, don't post about it. Just buy and wait. 6 months later, the company gets FDA approval on their lead product. The stock doubles. Not some overnight miracle. It doubles over about 3 months. Your $40,000 becomes $82,000 after you sell part of the position. You don't cash out everything and buy a watch. You reinvest most of it. From there, the math starts compounding. About $150,000 from index fund savings over 4.5 years. $82,000 from the biotech play. You make 2 more moves over the next year and a half. Smaller bets, same logic, same patience. Each one adds another $30,000 to $50,000. Plus, the index funds are doing their thing in the background the whole time. Your portfolio crosses 400,000, then 6, then 8. The last stretch from 800 to $1 million takes about 9 months. Mostly just the market doing what it does when you leave it alone long enough. And the whole time, you're showing up to work, sitting in the back of meetings, watching Daniel take credit, eating lunch at your desk, driving the same car. Nobody has any idea, not even Lucas. Chapter 3. The Friend. Lucas is your senior at the agency. He's also your childhood best friend. You grew up on the same street, same school. Lucas got you the interview at the agency almost 5 years ago, made the call, vouched for you. You got the job because of Lucas. You're really close. Late night drives after work, talking about life, weekend gaming sessions. The kind of friendship where you don't have to explain yourself. The other person just gets it. You tell Lucas everything, your savings strategy, your investment moves, your plans, the biotech bet before you made it, your target number, all of it, because why wouldn't you? It's Lucas. You've been boys since you were 11. This is the same guy who helped you move into your studio apartment on a Sunday, carried your mattress up 3 flights of stairs, and then bought you dinner because he knew you couldn't afford it that week. You don't question Lucas, ever. What you don't know is that Lucas has been meeting with Daniel every 2 weeks. Privately, behind closed doors. Daniel figured out early that Lucas was your weak spot, so he made Lucas an offer. Feed me what he's working on, what he's thinking, what strategies he's developing, and I'll put you in line for the director promotion when it opens up. Simple trade, information for advancement. And Lucas took it. Every idea you shared on a late night drive, Lucas texted to Daniel the next morning. Every campaign strategy you whispered about over lunch, Daniel presented it the following week. The reason Daniel always seemed one step ahead of you wasn't because Daniel was smart. It was because Lucas was handing him the playbook. You don't know any of this yet, but you're about to find out, and it's going to happen because of a detail so small that Lucas won't even remember saying it. Chapter 4. The Number and the Truth. A random Wednesday morning, before work. You're sitting at your kitchen table eating cereal. You open your portfolio app, $1,003,247. You stare at it, refresh. Still there, $1 million. Your hands are kind of shaky, more like when you almost get into a car accident and the adrenaline hits 5 minutes later. You sit there for a while. The cereal gets soggy. You think about calling your mom, but you don't know what you'd even say. So you just get dressed and drive to work like it's any other Wednesday, except it isn't. And you know that. You just don't know what to do with it yet. The 9 a.m. meeting goes exactly the way it always goes. Daniel presents a strategy. The room nods. You sit in the back. But this time, something is different. The strategy Daniel is presenting, the specific angle, the specific framing, the specific client insight, you never wrote it down, never emailed it, never put it in a doc. You said it out loud exactly once, on a drive home with Lucas, last Thursday, in the car, just the two of you. There is no other way Daniel could have that information. Zero. Unless Lucas told him. You sit in that meeting and the math completes itself in about 6 seconds. Every time Daniel was ahead of you. Every time your ideas showed up in someone else's presentation. Every time you felt like you were going crazy because you couldn't figure out how Daniel kept knowing. It was Lucas. All of it. The whole time. You don't react. Don't look at Lucas. The meeting ends. You walk back to your desk. Open your laptop. That night you almost blow it. You're lying in bed at 1 a.m., phone in your hand, Lucas's contact pulled up. Your thumb is hovering over the call button. You want to scream at him. You want to ask him why. You want to hear him try to explain so you can tell him exactly what you think of him. You type out a text, something long, something angry, something you'd regret, and then you delete it, character by character. Put the phone on the nightstand. Stare at the ceiling for about an hour. The next morning you wake up and the anger has turned into something colder, quieter, and for the next 2 weeks you don't say a word to anyone about what you know. You just move, quietly. Chapter 5. The Exit. You don't quit that day, you're strategic. Over the next 2 weeks, you do 4 things. First, you save every client contact you personally built. These aren't the company's relationships. You brought these clients in, you managed them. You took the calls at 10 p.m. when things went wrong. You earned these. Second, you dig through your old emails, not some premeditated evidence folder you've been building for months. Your inbox, you never delete anything, you're that guy. And once you start searching Daniel's name alongside project keywords, it's all there. Emails where you sent the work. Replies where Daniel forwarded it to leadership and removed your name. Slack messages where he asked you to put something together for him that he later presented as his own thinking. You didn't collect this on purpose. You just never threw it away. And now it's the most valuable thing you own. Third, You map out exactly which clients would follow you if you left. 3 names. The 3 biggest accounts you personally manage, the ones who text you directly, not the agency. Fourth, you stop talking to Lucas. Don't make it obvious. Just less. Shorter answers, fewer late night drives. When Lucas asks if everything's okay, you say, yeah, just tired. Lucas doesn't push it, doesn't even notice really. And that tells you everything you need to know about how much Lucas actually cared. Friday afternoon, 2 weeks later, you walk into Daniel's office, close the door, put a single piece of paper on the desk, resignation letter. Daniel reads it, looks up, laughs. You're joking. You don't smile. Daniel shifts, tries a different angle. Look, I know things haven't been perfect. Let's talk about a raise, a title change. What do you need? You say nothing. Daniel's voice drops. You realize if you walk out of here, I will make sure nobody in this industry touches you. I know everyone. You know that. You stand up, button your jacket, look at Daniel for about 3 seconds. I appreciate the opportunity. Walk out. Don't look back. Don't look at Lucas's desk on the way out either. You get in your car, sit in the parking lot for about 5 minutes. The radio comes on automatically, some song you don't recognize, something soft and wrong for the moment. You turn it off, just sit in the silence. Your hands are on the steering wheel and you notice they're shaking again. Same as the morning you saw the million. Not fear, just your body catching up with what your brain already decided. For the first time in almost 5 years, Daniel has zero leverage over you. Then you drive home. Chapter 6. The Revenge. 3 months later, you register your own digital marketing agency. Not a direct competitor. Smarter than that. You position in the gap your old agency was too lazy to fill. Performance marketing for mid-size health and biotech companies. The exact niche you built your expertise in while Daniel was busy taking credit for it. You reach out to your 3 clients. A coffee here, a lunch there. The first meeting is at a cafe near the old office. You order an oat milk latte and immediately feel like a cliche, but the client doesn't care about your drink. They care about what you're building. Here's what I'm working on. No pressure. All 3 move their accounts within 6 weeks. The old agency loses roughly 30% of that division's revenue. In 6 weeks, from one person leaving, Daniel panics, calls the clients directly, and here's where Daniel makes the mistake that ends him. He tells them you were fired for misconduct, a lie, a desperate, stupid lie. But you expected this. You knew Daniel would try something. So that night, you sit at your kitchen table at midnight, going through your old inbox again. You pull every email, every Slack thread, every forwarded deck. You organize it into a single document. Takes you about 3 hours. Your coffee goes cold twice. You send 1 email to each client the next morning. Calm, professional, no emotion, just the document attached. Every email chain, every timestamp showing Daniel presenting your work as his own. You don't say Daniel is a liar. You don't need to. They can read. The clients don't respond to Daniel's calls after that. One of them, the CEO of the biggest account, calls you directly and says something you replay in your head for months. We always knew it was you doing the real work. That account, it was the one Daniel built his entire reputation on, the one he bragged about in every leadership meeting, the one he put on his LinkedIn banner, gone, because Daniel never actually earned it. He borrowed someone else's work and called it his own, and that works right up until the person doing the work leaves. And when they do, the whole thing falls apart, because there was never anything there without you. Daniel doesn't get fired immediately. That would be too clean. He gets reassigned to a smaller team. His title stays the same, but everyone knows what happened. His reputation inside that company never recovers. He becomes the guy who lost the clients, the guy who lied, the guy whose best employee left and took the business with him. Chapter 7. The Silence. Lucas finds out about your company the way everyone else does. A LinkedIn post that goes semi-viral. Former agency employee launches competing firm. 3 major accounts signed in first quarter. Lucas reads it and his stomach drops. Because by now, Lucas's situation is exactly what you'd expect. The director promotion Daniel promised him never came. Daniel barely talks to him anymore. The agency is losing clients and cutting budgets. Lucas's position is shaky. He's got no leverage, no options. He's trapped. The exact same way you were, except nobody's coming to get him out. Lucas texts you. Casual at first. Yo bro, congrats on the company, that's crazy. No reply. A few days later, another text. Hey man, I know things got weird at the end. I should have told you what was going on. No reply. A week later, the desperate one. They're about to let me go. Can I come work with you? I'll start from the bottom. I don't care about title or salary. Just give me a chance. No reply. Then the last one. A long paragraph. Apologizing, explaining, justifying, saying the boss pressured him, saying he didn't think it would go this far, saying, "You're the only real one I ever had." You read every single message. Everyone. Never respond. Not because you're angry, not because you're trying to punish him. You just have nothing left to say. Lucas chose the boss over you. The boss threw Lucas away. And now the person who traded a real friendship for a promotion that never came is texting the person he betrayed, asking to be saved. You don't need to say anything. He already knows. Payoff. 6 months later, your company is growing. Not fast, but steady. Within a year, you're making more than your old salary and you answer to no one. And yeah, the revenge felt good, not going to pretend it didn't, but you think about it sometimes. Sitting at your desk at night after everyone's gone home, well, it's just you, there is no everyone. You think about Daniel still showing up to that smaller office every morning, knowing that the one thing on his LinkedIn he was actually proud of is gone. You think about Lucas scrolling through his phone, looking at your company's website, wondering what would have happened if he'd just kept his mouth shut. And then you stop thinking about them. Because that's the thing, they don't take up space in your head anymore. Not the way they used to. You spent years carrying that weight, the stolen work, the fake friend, the swallowed anger, and at some point in the last few months it just got quiet. Not because you forgave anyone. You didn't. It just stopped mattering. You're sitting at your desk now. Your desk. Your office. The cereal bowl from this morning is still in the sink because you forgot to wash it. The portfolio app is open on your phone, but you haven't checked it in 3 days. There's a client call in 20 minutes that you're actually looking forward to. Different chair. Follow the path.